Hello. Today we'll be covering Introductions 1 and 2. The first question we are presented with is, "Nice to meet you, my name is John." Beginning with "nice to meet you," this is given the translation "hajime mashite." The second part of this is split into the name John, written in katakana, as is typical with a foreign name, and doimasu, which roughly translates as called. In typical Japanese fashion, you'll notice that it is implied that John is talking about himself, rather than explicitly said. Hajime mashite, John doimasu. Next, we are asked for the translation for "I am from the US." As an English speaker, it is often helpful for us to work backwards when reading or constructing a sentence in Japanese. In this case, you would be saying "the US I am from." As such, we start with America, written in katakana, shushin, meaning birthplace, and the ambiguous des, which in this case would mean is. It's again implied that you're talking about yourself. So, my birthplace is the US. America shushin desu. Miss Maria is from China. Regardless if it's a man or a woman, the formal way to address an adult is with the suffix san. Miss Maria, as such, is referred towards as Maria-san. Unlike in English, where we'd use capital letters, spaces, punctuation marks, and so forth to indicate a subject, in Japanese this is determined by particles. The particle wa, despite being written as ha, is used here to show that Miss Maria is the subject. So, now we've said that Miss Maria is the subject, we can follow the previous question's translation. China is translated as Chugoku. Therefore, Maria-san wa Chugoku shushin desu. Tanaka, here written in kanji as is standard for Japanese names, just like how adult Maria previously, has the suffix san. Wa also indicates to us that he is the subject. Skipping ahead, we see that the sentence ends in dis. This tells us that our subject Tanaka-san is something. In this case, we have the two kanji for Japanese, nihon, and the third kanji, jin, meaning person. Tanaka-san wa nihonjin desu. Mr. Tanaka is Japanese. And finally, we have a recap of the kanji for nihon and the kanji for jin. Hai, watashi mo gakusei desu. The first word hai simply means yes, just as ie means no. Watashi, which can also be used for introductions, translates to as for me or as for myself, but more than often it's used as I am. Instead of the wa particle being used, here the mo particle has taken its place. This particle is how you add an also to a previous statement, and it can't be used separately. Des once again rounds off the sentence, but instead takes its am meaning rather than is. The two kanji mean gakusei, which is a student. Yes, I am also a student. Hai, watashi mo gakusei desu. As mentioned before, we'll start working backwards, setting the subject first. Can you speak English would therefore be English, can you speak? Eigo is how you'd say English language, just as Nihongo is Japanese language. We'll then set the subject by using the wa particle directly afterwards. The verb to speak is hanase. We then add mas on as we're talking in the present time. Finally, as it's a question rather than a statement, we use the equivalent of a question mark, which is the ending ka. Can you speak English? Eigo wa hanasemasu ka? Yes, I am fine. Just like hai, a more casual way of saying yes is e. Genki, which translates to lively or good health, and des, taking its am meaning. So, what you're saying is, yes, I am in good health. E genki desu. Maria wa something desu. Maria is something. If you take a good look at the second kanji, you'll see it was the same as in gakusei, the only difference being the prior kanji, which is read as sen. So together, sensei, which is teacher. Maria wa sensei desu. Maria is a teacher. The only new word that comes up here is mochiron, which means certainly. E mochiron desu. Yes, I am certain. Or as it's used here, yes, of course. What is your name? The subject here is the name of the person, so we want to put name, namae, as our subject with wa as our marker. The O before the mai is a show of politeness, as asking for someone's name is seen as quite a formal procedure. Next is everyone's favourite word, nane, which means what, and finally dis, as is. Ka is also used again as we are asking a question. O namae wa nani desu ka? What is your name? I can speak English and Japanese. The I myself in this sentence is again implied, so we don't need to start off with that. Instead, the subject would be English and Japanese. The equivalent for and in Japanese is to, eigo to nihongo. And instead of wa, another new particle ga is used. Wa and ga usage is open to interpretation, and for now it's best learnt through trial and error, but they're both very similar in usage. As before, we're using hanasemasu as the verb to speak. Eigo to nihongo ga hanasemasu. Finally, for this section, it's asking, can you speak English? English subject marker, can you speak? Eigo wa hanasemasu. And as we're asking a question, we'll use ka at the end. Eigo wa hanasemasu ka? Can you speak English? This concludes Introductions 1 and 2. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.